Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Luke. I'm on TV. So today I thought I would share and discuss my top 10 favorite original Xbox games. Like most of the systems that I bought over my lifetime, I was a late adopter in buying an Xbox. I did not buy an Xbox until about 2007, 2008. That was right around the time when I started buying and collecting video games again. I had stopped playing games for a little while there, so once I started collecting games again, I decided to pick up an Xbox so I could go back and play some of these great games that I missed out on the first time around. And the reason I missed out on them was because I had originally chosen the PS2 in favor of the Xbox and the GameCube. And the reason I chose the PS2 was because it was backwards compatible with PS1 games. And also it was able to play DVD movies right out of the box. And I did not have a DVD player at that time, so both of those two things were really big selling points for me. And also I just felt that the PS2 had more of the games that I really wanted to play at that particular time. And today the PS2 still is my favorite system to play and buy games for. But since buying my Xbox, I have built a really respectable library of games. And I have chosen these 10 games that I'm going to share with you now that I consider to be my favorites. And when I say favorites, I really just mean that these are the games that I played the most and really enjoyed. And these are usually the games that I recommend to other people when we talk about Xbox. And also keep in mind when I do my top 10 lists, I'm not going to count down from number 10 to number 1. I never like to do that. Really just because what could be my number 3 today could be my number 1 tomorrow and vice versa. So I'll just give you my top 10 favorites and I'll talk about each of them. So the first game here is Dead or Alive 3. This was a launch title for the Xbox. And this is actually the game where I saw the first screenshot for this game. I was completely blown away. I just thought it looked so good. Back then, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like all the best looking fighting games were always in the arcade. I mean, you always had all the Street Fighters and Mortal Kombats, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, but very rarely in the American arcade did you ever see a Dead or Alive cabinet. I mean, they might exist, but you just never saw them. But anyway, when I saw the screenshot for this game, for the system, I thought it was the best looking fighting game I'd ever seen. And I was just really blown away. So once I finally did get around to playing this, I was completely impressed. It's just such a solid game. It looks good, it plays well, and it's just a lot of fun. It's just definitely one of my favorite fighting games on the Xbox. The next game is Project Gotham Racing. This is another launch title for the Xbox. Really great racing game, a lot of fun, very challenging stages. I really like the level design in this game. Also, I really like the point system. I think it's very rewarding. And there also was a sequel. There was Project Gotham Racing 2 for the Xbox. There also was 2 sequels on the Xbox 360, but those did not get very good reviews. They did not sell well, and unfortunately the series ended after that. But this is just a great game. I've spent so much time playing this game, and it's just one of these games that I have to come back to time and time again, and I'm always trying to get first place on every level and all the challenges and whatnot. Just a great solid racing game. The next game is Toca Race Driver 3. This is a really great racing game as well. Now, just a heads up, I do not have a Forza game in this list, and that's because I favor this game. I think this game is so much better in every way. There is just so much available to you in this game. There is all kinds of different cars. You get stock cars, Formula One cars, you get muscle cars, you even get monster trucks, go-karts. This game did go-karts before Gran Turismo 5. A lot of people thought that was a new thing, but it wasn't. It was actually in this game as well. And this game is available for PS2 as well, and I do have it for PS2. But the Xbox version is going to be better. It's going to look better and probably have a better frame rate, as most games did, because obviously the Xbox was a more powerful system. So anyway, I spent so much time playing this game. And what's really great about this game, too, is, of course, you can rip your CDs on your Xbox and you can play your music in this game. So that's what's really cool too, is you could find like a newer song that you're really digging right now, and you can listen to it in the game, and it adds like a whole new, it adds like a freshness to this game. It keeps it new, and that way you can keep playing. You can play you can play the game and listen to all your favorite new music and all that stuff, and that's really great addition. That's a very underrated thing about the Xbox is that you had the ability to play your own music in most of the games. So anyway, so that was a really good selling point for the game, and it's just a really solid racing game. The next game is Psyops, the Mindgate Conspiracy. This is a really great third-person shooter game from Midway, of all people. Midway was very well known in like the 80s and the 90s for making a lot of arcade games. They released a lot of popular arcade games like Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam and those kinds of fun arcadey games. So this game was very different. It's more like a Deus Ex or a Resident Evil kind of type game. Very cool. You get a lot of cool special abilities in this game. You get pyrokinesis, telekinesis, remote viewing, and mind drain. So you get a lot of cool things going on in this game. It's kind of similar to Project Snowblind, if you've ever played that game, which that's a first-person shooter, but this is a third-person shooter. But this is just a great game. It looks good and it plays well, and I just have a lot of fun. I haven't finished it yet. I'm almost done, I think. I spent countless hours playing this game, and it's just a lot of fun. Very good game. Next game is Max Payne. Now, of course, this is a classic third-person shooter game, and I originally played this on the PS2, and I finished it on the PS2, and I loved it. So when I bought an Xbox, I decided to pick it up for the Xbox because I knew it was going to look a little bit better and maybe even play a little bit better, like, better frame rate, smoother animation, and whatnot, So anyway, I've gotten about halfway through this version, but I love it just as much as the PS2 version. Just a great game. And of course, there was a sequel for this on the Xbox and the PS2 as well. And there also was a third game that came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3 if you like this game. So that's worth noting. The next game is Black. Now, this is one of my top 10 favorite video games of all time. This would land right in the top 10, maybe in the top 5 even. This is another game I originally played on the PS2, and I loved it. But the PS2 version did have some technical difficulties. Occasionally, there would be some slowdown because the system just couldn't handle a lot of what was going on. There was a lot of very heavy technical stuff going on in the game, so it was really taxing the system. Like sometimes when you get a lot of machine gun fire and you get a lot of enemies on the screen, it's going to tax the system. And the PS2 developers were very creative in that they were able to create this kind of slow bullet time effect where the screen would kind of darken and everything would go into slow motion, and it would add this really cool effect. But the problem was that some levels had happened so much and happened so frequently that it became really annoying, and you could play through it, but again, throughout one level, it could happen several times, and it gets really annoying when it happens. So thankfully, that is not a case with the Xbox version. Once again, the Xbox was a much more powerful system, so I think the graphics look better, and again, the animations are smoother, better frame rate, and there is no slowdown. It's just a great game. I love this game so much. The next game is Doom 3. Oh man, I don't even know what to say about this game. I just love it. Of course, I know about the Doom series. I've always known about the Doom series. I didn't really care too much for the first 2 games, to be honest with you. I never did have a PC, so I never played the games on the PC. I know there was a lot of versions throughout the years on the home systems, but of course there was a lot of issues with all those versions. But anyway, as I played Black and I fell in love with that game, and I kind of fell in love with the first-person shooter genre, I decided I was going to pick up Doom 3 because I'd heard so much about it. This version and the PC version both had really great reviews, and I saw the graphics. I thought it looked great and whatnot, and yeah, I love this game. And one thing I really enjoy about this game is the use of all the PDAs in the system, where you're playing throughout the levels, and then you find the PDAs and you listen to a lot of the recordings on the PDAs, and they leave really good messages. They're telling you about the story, but then they're also giving you a lot of helpful information. Like they're giving you like a locker combination, and you got to find the locker, and in that locker is going to be a key to a room or something that you might need. So it's really imperative that you find these PDAs and you actually listen to them and stuff. So it really just kind of breaks up the monotony too much. Where it's still a very linear game, but of course it does make it a little where you're constantly searching levels because you want to make sure you find all the available PDAs and whatnot. So just a great game. And I just recently picked up the BFG edition for the Xbox 360 as well. So I do plan on playing this game once again. The next game is Dark Watch. This is another first-person shooter game. Very original, kind of has its own style going on. It's kind of like a gothic Wild West type first-person shooter game. Very different, but it's really cool. It's got like a lot of like skeletons and like dead characters and all kinds of weird stuff going on in this game, but very entertaining. A lot of fun. Really nice graphics. Sound design is really good. Creative level design as well. Just a lot of fun. I enjoy playing this game. Very good. I highly recommend it if you've never played it. The next game is Halo 2. Of course, I had to include a Halo game. To be honest with you, I didn't really like the first Halo game as much. I thought that it was pretty good, but it was very repetitive. I thought like most of the levels were very repetitive. It's like you've been there, done that. It got old really quick. But so Halo 2, thankfully, was totally the opposite of that game. It was just better in every way. Had better graphics, better level design, better looking everything, better sounding, not graphics, but sound effects. And everything. And also I really like the addition of the Arbiter, where you could jump back and forth between playing Master Chief and as the Arbiter. I thought it really broke the monotony a lot of times, where it didn't let it get old. So those times where playing Halo 1, I thought it got boring, repetitive, and old. This game, thankfully, does not do that. It would break it up. So you'd play as Master Chief, and then you get to a certain point, and now you play as the Arbiter. So it breaks up the monotony, makes the game much more interesting and fun, and just kind of keeps you coming back for more. So just a great game overall. Just a great first-person shooter. And last but not least is Kung Fu Chaos. I kind of wanted to save this for last because it's kind of like totally different than the rest of my list. But just a lot of fun on this game. If you ever played Power Stone on the Dreamcast, this is kind of like that. There never was a sequel for this game. I really wish there had been, especially on the Xbox 360. I think it would have been really cool to see a game like this on there, especially with Xbox Live. I think it would have been a lot of fun to play against people online and whatnot. But anyway, I never did have the chance to play this with any friends of mine or anything. It just never happened that way. I think this game would be a lot of fun to play if you had a bunch of your buddies coming over drinking beers or something, because it's just a lot of fun. Really cool characters like a lot of ninjas and kung fu people and samurais and whatnot. Just a lot of fun. I know there was talk at one point of there being a sequel, but it just never panned out, unfortunately. So anyway, but this is just a great fun game. Definitely worth tracking down if you don't own it, and give it a try if you've never played it, because I think you might be pleasantly surprised. So anyway, this has been my top 10 favorite original Xbox games. As always, if you have enjoyed watching this video, please make sure to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.